All right, we're live. This is episode 121 of the Battle of Ohio podcast. The Browns fucked my Bengals up, man. Again. It was like they didn't learn any of the lessons from last year. Any of them. The Browns still have a lot of work to do, but they might have given themselves some life on the season. But finally, the Steelers got disrespected, according to Charlie Batch. Because why, Thomas?
Pittsburgh still suck. You suck, Pittsburgh.
Damn right. The Steelers are terrible. And we're gonna talk about that here in a second. But first,
welcome to the Battle of Ohio podcast, where we follow the revival of the historic rivalry between the Cincinnati Bengals and the Cleveland Browns.
all right, so just a housekeeping note or two real quick. We're obviously starting this episode a little bit later than we normally do. So in the interest of not going all night, what we're going to do is we're going to, kind of do like a half episode today, half episode tomorrow. We're basically going to do our normal recaps today. And then tomorrow we're going to come back on and do a second predictions thing. So for now, most weeks, Thomas, we were coming on and I'm like, Thomas, we got to talk about it. Let's talk about it, buddy. This time it's the opposite. This time it's me. I've got to coach myself and be like, we got to talk. Wait,
Kyle. Before you go any farther, what's Thursday night game tonight?
Thursday night game tonight is I should know this. I was working on it earlier.
Don't look at the score of his kickoff first.
Right?
Yeah, we'll do that. We could do that really quickly before kickoff. It hasn't
started yet. It's Eagles-Texans.
Eagles-Texans. All right. Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles. We didn't really need. I don't think we needed to. But yeah.
All right. Just want to get out of the way.
The spread on that game is currently Eagles -14. That's how bad. That's nobody believes in the Texans.
You can put $5 on the Texans and win $500. Anyway, go ahead. What are you saying about your team sucking, my team being great?
Well, your team is certainly not great, Thomas. But if you recall, the same damn thing happened last year in Paul Brown Stadium. It was literally almost the same. It was almost verbatim. Like it started out, Bengals go on this great offensive drive, and then it wasn't a pick six this time, but it was almost a pick six.
It's just great.
So,
man, that was a great game to be at. I needed that game. That game was great medicine for me. Oh, I had a long week. I needed that game. You know what? You know what the best part about that game? Myles freaking Garrett. Sometimes you forget that you have that guy. But then you realize, yeah, we got that guy. Myles Garrett, he's awesome. Shout out to Myles Garrett, y'all.
Yeah, and who's not awesome is Jonah Williams, who got absolutely abused by Myles Garrett. And honestly, Jonah Williams hasn't been great all year, but this week it was bad, man. He was responsible for 3 sacks and 4 pressures. Jonah Williams was like our best offensive lineman last year, and this year, with our offensive line generally better, Jonah Williams is arguably our worst offensive lineman. It's like a complete shift.
You know what was great about last night's game? Oh, go ahead.
Well, no, you go ahead. You got something to say about the game. I got something to say about the future, but you go ahead.
You know what was great about the game, though, was Sunday you were talking all that smack. You were talking all that smack Sunday. You were like, man, Thomas, man, this Browns team is horrible. They're depleted. Hey, the Browns got talent. I'm just saying, the problem with the Browns is the fact that we don't have our $300 million quarterback. The talent is there. There's plenty of talent on this team. They probably had the Browns.
What the hell are you talking about? Jacoby Brissett looked great.
I know he did. Shout out to Jay Beasley.
That's what I'm saying. Like Deshaun Watson isn't going to make Deshaun Watson isn't going to make that much of a difference if Jacoby Brissett's playing like that.
Well, he's not going
And
to play
quite
like that all
honestly,
the
I don't think
time.
he's going to make that much of a difference anyway.
He
But
will. He
long
will.
term, yes, but not this year.
Man, we'll
Look,
see.
all I'm saying is the Bengals were poised to beat the ever-loving hell out of the Browns the second time around last year, but we decided to rest all our starters. I'm just saying we ain't resting our starters next time, Thomas.
Yeah,
right
next
now,
time you're going to play Deshaun Watson.
You've been saying it all year. A 9-8 team is going to make the playoffs, and quite frankly, it might have to be the Bengals. If the Bengals are going to get to 9-8, then they're probably going to need to play all their starters against the Browns later this year.
Interesting.
Are you there?
I'm here. I'm saying that's interesting.
Your internet. You don't have your TV on or something, do you?
No.
Yeah, your internet is like.
No, I got text messages.
Like you look like this. You look like.
No, I'm literally just keep my face like this.
No, but your mouth wasn't moving either. Like you were.
No,
I'm
just seasoned.
Okay, I'm telling you, the internet is being bad, but look, what I'm telling you is we ain't going to be resting our starters later this year. Catch us in Cincinnati, you'll see what I meant last year when I said we were about to beat the hell out of you.
Dude, we're going to have Deshaun Watson next time we play y'all. In fact,
and he's not going to be any good yet.
We ain't gonna play another. We'll see. You keep on saying that. You keep on saying that.
You know what? You know what? I am extremely confident in saying that. How many free agents that or trades show up on a team and they're immediately good? It very rarely happens.
We'll see. Okay.
We will see, but I'm telling you.
Donovan Mitchell's tearing up for the Cavs right now. He just got traded for them a month before the season.
Thank you, Christine. Okay.
Y'all also was burning me about how the Bengals will be the Browns this Sunday.
well. You were talking all about how Joe Mixon was going to have a huge game.
I thought he would. I thought he would. But you know what? You know what we learned about the Browns is that the Browns defense gets better as the year goes on. We had 3 straight years to prove that.
Yeah. Do you remember what happened last year, Thomas? Y'all beat the hell out of us, and then you went back to being terrible. So, calm down a minute.
No. The Browns were average last year. They finished 8-9, just below 500 average.
They had no business finishing 8-9 with the way that they started last year, Thomas. They should have like the way that they finished the last season. They basically just gave up. Consider
the fact that our quarterback had one arm,
and.
They still finished 8-9. At the end of the day, they finished 8-9. They finished 1 win for the playoffs. At the end of the day, the Browns finished 1 win for the playoffs. That win with Oklahoma.
Mark my words, the Browns are going to be awful for the rest of the season.
Yeah, maybe.
That's my point.
Kyle, look, here's the thing.
I'm not even trying to talk smack right now. I'm trying to be honest.
Kyle, here's the thing, right? So they got a bye week right now, right? And then they play the Dolphins, right? So I got 2 weeks to prepare for the Dolphins. The Dolphins, they're a pretty good team, but they're not like, you beat the Dolphins.
Dude, I don't know.
They got the Bills.
The way that Tua's been playing lately, I wouldn't.
You can beat the Dolphins.
I wouldn't.
You can beat the Dolphins. Dolphins don't scare me.
No, I don't think they'll beat the Dolphins. Y'all ain't.
And then had the Bills. We're not beating the Bills.
The team just had a big win, but
I didn't say
the Browns have been playing outside of this game with the Bengals.
I didn't say they will beat the Dolphins. I say they could beat the Dolphins. I said they could beat the Dolphins.
I don't think they could. I don't think they match up well with the Dolphins.
They're not a bad team.
I didn't.
Talent-wise.
Well, They're very rarely a bad team talent-wise, Thomas.
The worst problem with the team is the fact that we got a backup quarterback playing for it.
That and your like defense is like does not communicate with itself at all.
Well,
and
you're also
communicating pretty well, which is another reason why I am absolutely disgusted by the Bengals' effort playing against that Browns defense, which was just banged up to hell and back. Maybe your starters suck. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe you should just play like not your starters. Maybe you should bench Denzel Ward and Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah.
Hey man, D Jones look good, that's for sure. Okay. Here's the thing, though, man. Here's the thing. The Browns got the best running back in the league. They got one of the best pass rushers in the league. They got a top 20 I said one of the best pass rushers.
Nick Chubb did not look like the best running back in the league last week.
I don't know. He only had 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he had 2 touchdowns because the Browns did nothing but run the ball after they got up 25-0.
Yeah,
you do realize the Browns finished as a team. The Browns finished with less than 4 yards per carry, despite the fact they had like 150 plus rushing yards. But it's because all they did was they literally only ran the ball once they got up to that big lead. And of course, they
didn't run the ball when Jacoby Brissett dropped a bomb to Amari Cooper. Oh, that pass is pretty.
Oh god, that pass is awful. But you know what else is awful
but the catch is amazing.
And
the catch is amazing.
This is. I will admit that was a great play by Jacoby Brissett and that was a great play by Amari Cooper. But that was also I don't understand why. Okay, so like Cheeto. Okay, so part of the reason that play happened, Thomas, is because Cheeto Awuzie got hurt. And he's now out for the season. So fuck you, first of all. Like that. If there's a potential death knell for our season, Cheeto Awuzie being out for the rest of the year, that might hurt because like our other options are like Eli Apple, Cam Taylor-Britt, and Trey Flowers. And as good of an option as Trey Flowers is to cover tight ends and play in that play in that like middle of the field slot role. And kind of shut down that portion of the field. He is not an outside corner. He should never be playing outside corner. What in the hell were the Bengals thinking by putting Trey Flowers at outside corner? Why is he the backup option to Cheeto Awuzie? That doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if if Eli Apple fucked Zach Taylor's wife or something like that, and that's why he just kind of got like randomly benched. And also, he's not like the greatest player in the world. Maybe you want to put Cam Taylor-Britt in there. But like, how is when Cheeto Awuzie out, how do you not put Eli Apple in as his replacement? And like, as up and down as Eli Apple is, Trey Flowers is not an outside cornerback. That's why he like basically got ran out of town in Seattle, is because he was playing the wrong position.
Kyle, I'm looking at the Dolphins, and I'm just curious. Why should I be scared of them? Like, all right, so you said Tua, right?
And because of Tyreek Hill.
So you said I should be afraid of Tua. We got good corners. We got good corners. We got Denzel Ward and Greg Newsome. Well, you said
not against Tyreek Hill, you don't.
Okay, man,
you're over here like flexing. You're over here flexing over like beating up our wide receiver core with no Jamar Chase.
Well, okay.
Chill for a minute.
All I'm saying is, with Tua, by the way, the Dolphins only beat the Steelers by 6 points. With Tua, 6 points, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 16-10. Tua only had 1 touchdown.
Crazy. I'm telling you, your internet is not doing your internet is like awful right now.
Yeah,
I can't hear you.
One of these days, someone will get better than that. It's my phone. Let me try, actually. Let's do this.
Yeah, because I'm not getting a signal. Like, you know what, Christine, you're watching. Could you are you having the same problems with hearing right now? Am I coming through weirdly, or what's going on?
I just switched to 5G.
Okay, that you probably need to do that. But anyway, continue on what you were saying.
My whole point is that the Dolphins barely beat the Steelers, and they barely beat the Lions. I am not afraid of this team. I think the Browns could beat them. I'm not saying they will. Saving that for 2 weeks. I'm saying they can beat them.
Look, Thomas, I'm just saying I've seen the Browns this season. Just because y'all beat us, which it just seems to be like the thing that you guys do. Like don't just because you beat us doesn't mean anything, really. Honestly, after what y'all did to us last year and the fact that like you were generally pretty terrible the rest of the year, like, I mean, I like. Look, I'm just saying the Dolphins are a really good team, and
yeah, I mean, it's not like the Browns are getting blown out of these games, dude. Like the Browns play.
You're not sorry. Don't lie. You're not sorry. Don't lie.
All I'm saying is, Kyle, look, the Browns play the Dolphins, the Bills, and Tampa Bay next 3 games. In order for them to give Deshaun Watson a fighting chance, they got to win 2 out of the next 3. They take 2 out of the next 3. They go on Deshaun Watson 5-6, and then you play the Texans. Deshaun Watson wins the Texans game. Boom, just like that. We're 6-6 with Deshaun Watson.
I want whatever you're smoking. I want some. Like,
no, I quit smoking.
I think you're riding the high of a big blowout win over us, and that's awesome. I'm not happy for you because fuck you. But
I didn't look. All I said is the Browns could beat the Dolphins. That's all I said. Is the Browns could beat the Dolphins. It's not outside the realm of possibility. Okay. They got top 5 offense, and their defense is playing well.
This week,
that's statistics.
This week they played well against the Bengals team that had no idea what to do without Jamar Chase until really about the fourth quarter.
Defense is getting better, dude. Defense played well last week against the Ravens.
Are you sure?
They held the Ravens to 23 points.
I wouldn't say that's playing well necessarily.
That's not playing horrible.
No, it wasn't horrible, but it's also like Thomas, like you and me have talked about
the
Ravens are not the Ravens are not a top tier offense as much as what people want to say.
I get that, but they didn't. The only score they had in the second half was like a field goal off an interception.
Well,
which is why I think that we
will see about the Browns and the Dolphins. I am willing to meet you somewhat halfway here and say that if the Browns beat the Dolphins, I wouldn't be. Okay, so the Texans right now are beating the Eagles 7-0. If the Texans beat the Eagles, I will be absolutely floored and just completely like Christine's over here, like, you know, can the Texans please beat the Eagles because my mom's an arrogant Eagles fan. And so if the Texans beat the Eagles, I will be absolutely, completely, unbelievably shocked. Like, there's no way that just happened. If the Browns beat the Dolphins, I will be less shocked than that. So I will give you that. The Browns are in the Browns are. Let's see. I don't really know what to say. Like, I mean, obviously, I can't say too horribly much because they just blew the hell out of my team. But they did that last year, and that didn't mean much, right?
But how are the Dolphins going to stop Nick Chubb?
I will grant the Browns are a very. How do I even say this? Like the Browns have a lot of potential, but how much potential do they really have? Because like they have a good coach, and they're not doing well this year. So the Browns I find very difficult to figure out. And again, like demolishing the Bengals. as much as like I'm super salty about it and I hated it, and that's really bad, and that potentially gets y'all's season kind of like there's a bit of a chance. But at the same time, because y'all did the same thing last year and it didn't really make that much of a difference, I'm like I don't really know if like if it means that much, especially because of the way the Bengals have played this year in certain games, like especially with the fact that like Jamar Chase wasn't there, and like I predicted, Thomas, I predicted that ultimately Jamar Chase being out would not impact the Bengals' ability too much to be able to do stuff because they'll have to adjust. But I also did predict that it would take them a while to get going because they have to change their entire offensive scheme, because right now it's built around having Jamar Chase being that game breaker. And so they did eventually get it going in the fourth quarter. And actually, interestingly enough, they had the offense was actually doing pretty well through large stretches of the game. They just didn't score, which was insane. But like, they were driving the ball, they were getting down the field, and then they just didn't score, which is a problem. But you could see the gears kind of turning, and you could see that this offense has potential without Jamar Chase. They just have no idea how to operate without Jamar Chase, so they got to figure it out first. So my prediction of this game that it was going to be a pretty low scoring game. I did not expect our defense to shit the bed like that, though. I probably should have guessed, because that's just what our defense does, is they kind of like shit the bed when the offense isn't great. Like people like to be like, oh, the defense is so great, but like the reality is the defense is built to help the offense win football games, but they are not the type of defense that can just win games. And then, yeah, I don't understand. I don't understand where a lot of people are coming from with a lot of this analysis that they have of the Bengals. But as far as the Browns go, like I will admit it was a very impressive game that y'all put together. But there was also a lot of the Bengals shooting themselves in the foot. And once the Bengals got going, like if you had the Bengals operating the way they did in the fourth quarter throughout the whole game, that would have been a much closer game, right? Like, I mean, like the Browns wouldn't have had that big blowout. The Browns were more prepared in this game. You could tell because the Bengals had no idea what they were doing at first. And so I'm not trying to say the Browns are awful. What I'm trying to say is this game says a lot more about the Bengals, the state of the Bengals, than it does the state of the Browns.
Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. You can't just say that, like, Nick Chubb was a beast and Myles Garrett was doing his thing and Amari Cooper was making some good-ass catches.
Amari Cooper was I will bow to the Amari Cooper part. Like Amari Cooper was like, but then again, Amari Cooper also like had Amari Cooper had some plays before Cheeto went out, but Amari Cooper really kind of came on once Cheeto wasn't there anymore. So
yeah, he was balling.
But I will admit, like Amari Cooper was fantastic. Jacoby Brissett was good, but Jacoby Brissett also was barely pressured the entire game. Like your offensive line absolutely demolished us.
Well, do you tell me like, hey, Thomas, your offensive line?
I could have thrown for 150 yards behind that offensive line.
Well, I get what Deshaun Watson does behind the offensive line.
Well, they're not normally they're not normally like that. You've seen Jacoby Brissett's pressure numbers this year, right? It's just I don't know what was up with the Bengals this week, but they just like again, part of it is the fact that our defense is just like part of the reason our defense played the way it did is because they are absolutely gashed to hell and back. Like I said, once Cheeto went out, Amari Cooper was already having a good game. But like once Cheeto goes out, we got no answer for an X receiver, just period. I think Eli Apple would have been an okay answer. Like, I mean, yeah, you're going to get beat, but you might have some good plays too. And that's better than throwing Trey Flowers, who only gets beat in those situations. And then we're still waiting for DJ Reader to come back. So we have no force in the middle. And J2 Fele was awful this week, as much as I praised him last week. And then Logan Wilson's out. And then this defense is just destroyed with injuries right now.
Yeah.
And
I'm still here. I'm just moving some stuff around real quick.
like my whole point about all of this is like yes, Browns fans, take your victory lap, have your fun, enjoy your game. But I think from a realistic perspective, you have to look at this game, and the big takeaway from this game is that something's wrong with the Bengals, not the Browns are like suddenly juggernauts again, suddenly a playoff team again.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the Browns got weapons, man. You can't just sleep on them. They got talent. There's a lot of talent on that team.
We've known the Browns have weapons, especially Donovan Peoples-Jones, who for whatever reason I don't know why, but he only plays well against the Bengals.
I don't know. He's gonna try for 1,000 yards.
I don't understand.
All right, but let me ask you this, Kyle. What do you think the Browns' record would be if Deshaun Watson played all 7 games so far?
Okay, what's your record right now? What's your record right now? 3-5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, the Browns' record is 3-5. So if you had Deshaun Watson playing right now, maybe 4-4, maybe same record as us. I think we analyzed every game this year so far, and one time I was like, okay, I think Deshaun Watson wins this game. But other than that,
5-3. I think 5-3. I think you beat the Ravens. I think you beat the Ravens. I think you beat the Chargers with Deshaun Watson.
I don't think so, and the reason I don't think so is because, as I said, it's gonna take some adjustment time for Deshaun Watson.
Man,
and like if you had him for the whole year, the adjustment time would be over and he'd be balling out by now. But
so you think you only give him one extra win as Jacoby Brissett?
I would get so far, yes. Now throughout the whole season, like I still expect the Browns to finish with 7-10, 6 and something. But if Deshaun Watson was playing the whole season, I'd probably give him 9-8, right? Maybe a little bit better than that, but like I said, it'd be a rough start to the year.
All right. This is one thing I love about sports is that you can just wait and see. So look, we play the Dolphins in 2 weeks. We want to see what happens.
All right. Well, we will see what happens in 2 weeks with the Dolphins. The Bengals play the Panthers next week. Bengals play the Panthers next week and the Steelers after that. So, realistically, the Bengals should be able to go into the bye 6-4. Now, again, we should have beat the Browns. Or at least we should have made it a lot more competitive than we did. We should have done this, that, and the other. We shouldn't be 4-4 right now, but we are. So it's just can they make it to 6-4? Can they beat the Panthers and the Steelers? They should be able to, but can they actually do it? I don't know right now. I don't know. Like I said, we're going to be doing our predictions live stream tomorrow, just because it's already late tonight.
Can't wait.
But so I do not yet know. Let's be totally fair. I'm probably going to pick the Bengals because it is the Panthers. I'm probably going to pick the Bengals. But I'm telling you right now, I'm not 100% confident on that just yet. We'll find out tomorrow.
Can't wait. Can't wait to do predictions.
Okay. All right.
Go Browns.
Let's go ahead and move on to the underrated players of the week. So you go first for the Browns.
For the Browns, I'm giving it to David Bell. Definitely give me David Bell. Yeah, man. He made a big catch. I don't know the stats of the game. I just was there. So I just remember seeing David Bell. The eye test told me David Bell looked good. So David Bell. Yeah. David Bell.
I see you real quick, Christine. You said you'll beat Pittsburgh in week 10 for us. Pittsburgh's not a threat, but you beat Pitt. I said, I think on the last episode, my second favorite team is whoever's playing Pittsburgh. So go Saints in week 10. But my underrated player of the week. Oh, do you have something to say?
No. David Bell had 2 catches for 27 yards, but he had 13.5 yards per catch. Yeah, he looked good, man. He had a couple big catches, man. Shout out to David Bell.
Yep.
Shout out to the rookie, y'all.
That's what happens when that's what happens when you have Trey Flowers playing outside corner for some god awful reason. I don't understand what the decision making on that was at all. He should never be playing outside corner. He played outside corner in Seattle, and he was awful there. And he's played great for us inside. I don't know why they decided to change that up just because, Cheeto's hurt. You got to have somebody better than Trey Flowers.
Dude, Jacoby Brissett had almost 300 yards with only 17 completed passes.
Yeah,
every single pass was a big yard.
Yeah, I know. I was there. All right. So my underrated player of the week for the Browns is going to be AJ Green. And partly I just want to shout him out because of his name, for the name alone. Because like during the stream when that interception happened, y'all want to go like watch my video. Like I put out a compilation video of me reacting to the Bengals and Browns game. And my reaction to the AJ Green interception was like I had to take a moment to pause in the middle of my fury to be like, but his name's AJ Green. That's just interesting. God, for fucking goddamn it, like that kind of energy, But, I mean, quite frankly, just his name alone is underrated. But also, like I said, that big game tilting interception at the beginning of the game that I specifically Thomas mentioned that I was so excited about this year. Like, if you're going to get excited about Jamar Chase being out, then I'm going to be excited about Denzel Ward being out because I don't want to see another one of those pick sixes at the beginning of the game. And it wasn't a pick six, but boy, it was almost a pick six. And
That's
you know
great.
what's actually funny? That actually ended up being a really good sequence of events for the Bengals because, like, while Joe Burrow threw that interception and it kind of killed, like, the momentum of a really good first offensive drive, we still stopped y'all from getting any points on that drive. So it actually kind of, like, worked. Like, after that drive, I was kind of feeling good. I was like, oh, well, you know what? That's kind of crazy, man. Like, the defense had like nothing going for them. They still got off the field with 0 points. So you're basically restarting the game from 0-0 now. So I'm actually feeling pretty good after that whole sequence of events. And then everything else happened.
You hear the worst part about the interception? I got to go to the bathroom when that interception happened. I was like, look, man, we've been drinking for a long time. I really got to go to the bathroom. And the bathroom whole crowd going wild. Like, yeah. I'm like, yeah. Why are we cheering? I'm like, pay the pick and then I go outside. I'm like, we got an interception.
AJ Green allowed.
Got back to my seat. My fly was still in zip
on the night and was probably the Browns' most consistent corner. So, I mean, like, I just got to give it up because nobody talks about AJ Green. Everybody talks about Greg Newsome. Everybody talks about Martin Emerson. Everybody talks about Denzel Ward. Nobody talks about AJ Green. And I think low key AJ Green's a really, really good, back of the roster type of guy.
Because I told you we have good corners. I told you this. I was like, we have good corners.
I never said we don't have any good corners. I just said I'm not scared of them because of the weapons.
We don't have good linebackers. We want to our linebackers, fine, but we have great corners. Our cornerback room is fantastic. It's very underrated. Shout out to corner.
It is underrated. But what I was saying was I never said he didn't have good corners. I said I'm not worried about it because of our weapons. And quite frankly, the Bengals showed that once they finally got going on offense. The Bengals showed that like the Browns corners are not like, well, they didn't show anything about the Browns corners. What they showed is that they have the weapons to compete even without Jamar Chase. And so that's why the Browns corners didn't scare me. Now they kind of scare me because it doesn't seem to matter who's in the game. Joe Burrow's going to throw a pick six to him.
I think Myles Garrett had a lot of that to do with tormenting Joe Burrow. He was Vecna.
Yeah. All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the state of the AFC North then, and then we can get out of here. But all right. So former Steelers quarterback Charlie Batch said that like after the Steelers got absolutely demolished by the Eagles, he came out on Twitter saying like, the Eagles disrespected the Steelers by playing their backups late in their blowout win. And I'm like, hey, Charlie, I think quite frankly, the Steelers disrespected themselves long before Gardner Minshew came in the game by letting Kenny Pickett get sacked 6 times. And then he threw for 0 touchdowns and one one interception performance, Najee Harris had a better quarterback rating than him. I brought up the 6 sacks. And obviously, Joe Burrow got sacked a lot last year, and Joe Burrow gets sacked a lot in general. But he doesn't throw for 0 touchdowns and 1 interception. Man, the Steelers are just so bad.
I hate Pittsburgh. It's so fun watching Pittsburgh just lose, isn't it?
Like, I mean, even on a week where the Bengals are pissing me off, I can still look at Pittsburgh and be like, oh, that still warms my heart.
The only thing that frustrates me, the only thing that scares me is there's some good quarterbacks come out in the draft next year. I really like C.J. Stroud. I know he's the Ohio State quarterback, but I think that C.J. Stroud will do well in Pittsburgh. Yeah. He's a good quarterback.
They won't draft a quarterback next year.
That's why it's so funny they draft a ticket. That's why it's so funny they draft a ticket. Yeah. I'm like, man, like why? Like what they could have done was they could have like done something like draft a receiver or something like for the future, and then like what? I mean, like, we're never going to have the Kenny Pickett conversation. We don't have to. We don't
need to have the Kenny Pickett conversation. I asked, when are we going to have the Mike Tomlin conversation? Again, like with you and Lamar Jackson, me and you have that conversation all the time. But when are we as a nation going to have the Mike Tomlin conversation? The Kenny Pickett conversation, that we don't need one. Like we all know he's not. He's like. But like my argument is that I think he could be good in the right situation, but he's not good right now. And I don't know if he'll ever become good in Pittsburgh. Like he might need to go somewhere else for him to have a chance of being good. Because the Steelers are just a train wreck right now. The Steelers are might be the worst situation for a young quarterback to develop right now. Except maybe maybe Jacksonville. Just you look at what they've done to Trevor Lawrence so far. But anyway, moving on. The Ravens are bullshit. And I know they beat the Bucs, but the Bucs look like trash right now. I'm telling you, their run of success lately is unsustainable. And honestly, even though we just got like pooped on by the Browns last week, I am feeling a 2020 Browns situation coming, Thomas, where the Ravens finish the season as division champions, but limp into the playoffs, and the Bengals absolutely destroy them in the wild card round. I can see
I don't even see. I think the Ravens might limp into the playoffs. I think long term the Ravens are always the first half team. They always do good or adequate in the first half of the season, but then they struggle in the second half of the season.
I don't think at this point I don't think at this point the Ravens are going to lose control of the AFC North. Like that would take a hell of a turnaround by us.
Okay, let me see. The Ravens play. Damn, we could have beat the Ravens easily too. That's the whole thing that frustrated me. They play the Saints on Monday night. They could lose that game.
They could.
Then they got a bye week to play the Panthers. They're going to beat the Panthers. They're probably going to beat the Jags. They can lose to the Broncos. Going to beat the Steelers. They're going to lose to us when we have Deshaun Watson back. They're going to beat the Falcons. They're going to probably beat the Steelers twice. And then they're probably going to lose to y'all on January 8th. So how many L's I got on their schedule? Got 1 loss, 2 losses, 3 losses. You only have them losing 4 more times for the rest of the year. So they probably make playoffs because they're going to beat the Jags, the Panthers for sure. They're going to beat the Steelers twice. Actually, I don't know if they beat the Steelers twice. I feel like the Steelers might get one on them.
I don't know.
Especially if they're playing. But they're going to beat the Steelers twice probably. I think Deshaun Watson going to get them. I think Joe Burrow is going to get them. So I think they're going to. So yeah, I think they're going to win like. I think they make playoffs. They make playoffs. Unfortunately, fuck Baltimore.
You got them. What, losing 4 or winning 4?
I have them losing. The only game I have them winning. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. I got 1 and 5. the Panthers and Jags, the Falcons, and the Steelers twice. So I got them 1-5. So yeah, they got 5 more wins on the schedule.
No, I think the Falcons will beat them. I think the Falcons will beat them.
Oh, you do? All right, cool. I checked it up, so I got them 1-4 times. In fact, I'll even take this. I'll even think the Steelers will beat them once. I got to win it 3 more times for the rest of the year.
I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. Like I think honestly that 3-game stretch at the end of the season, I think they'd lose all 3 games. And hell, you even said they might lose to Deshaun Watson, so they might have a 4-game losing streak at the end of the season.
I mean, honestly, dude, they might lose to the Saints. I mean, Saints aren't scrubs.
I absolutely think they could. Yeah.
I mean, that's a tough state to play against.
You know, Chris was just saying like Michael Thomas is out for the year, but like literally, who cares? Because who even is Michael Thomas anymore? Y'all got Chris Olave. He's pretty good.
Man. Oh, Chris, she.
All right. Well, I think that's probably it for tonight. I think ain't got a whole lot else to say. Like I said, catch us tomorrow for a live predictions episode. We used to do these episodes separately, and then we kind of combined them just for the sake of editing. But you know, quite honestly, we could probably go back to doing 2 separate episodes because like we're not editing these episodes anymore, right? But then again, like
I don't really see the point of doing. Yeah. We gotta go flow
it wouldn't really make any sense to like go off because like what we used to do is we used to record it like after we were done recording the episodes. It wouldn't really make any sense to do a second stream and then do predictions, right? And unless you want to stream like 4 times a week, which quite frankly I really don't want to.
No, I mean,
I don't have time to stream 4 times a week. So
I'm very good time to stream twice.
In general, we'll keep doing them as part of the episode. But tonight we just kind of ran out of time. But we will do an extra predictions episode tomorrow. So until then, y'all can always find more of what I do at Kyle Phelps 92 on Twitter, Facebook.com/the Phelps. Check us out on atbnetwork.com. They're kind enough to let us use their StreamYard and promote our stuff. And check out my YouTube channel, just Kyle Phelps. Show's called Welcome to the Jungle, but find it on YouTube. It's just Kyle Phelps. And then you can find him at T_star94 on Twitter and Instagram. And he's the Thomas J Network on YouTube and TikTok.
You got
anything left to say, Thomas?
Check out my new music video, Brittany by Thomas J. By the way, I never got a chance to say it. I do think the Bengals are going to be fine long term. So I wouldn't worry about it, Kyle. I still think the Bengals are going to win the division this year. So yeah,
I don't think the Bengals are going to win the division. I mean, unless the Ravens really do collapse the way that we think they're going to. I don't know, man. The Bengals are 0-3 in the division right now. I don't think like. I mean, maybe honestly, but it's like if the Bengals make it to the playoffs, I really feel like we've got another run in us because right now a big part of why we're not so good is because we're really injured. But a lot of those injuries are going to like start turning around. We're going to have a lot of turnover after the bye. And it's like, we're not going to have Cheeto Awuzie, which is really going to hurt our secondary. But I think the secondary can be good enough when we get DJ Reader back, when we get Logan Wilson back, when we get all these guys who are injured, they're going to be coming back, and they're going to be coming back for that run. So like I said, if we can take advantage of this next 2-game stretch against the Steelers and the Panthers, we can go into the bye 6-4, and we start getting all these injuries back. And I'm still pretty confident that the Bengals will make the playoffs. And if they can get to the playoffs, I think they got a run in them. I'm not panicking just yet. I've had some people say, "Oh, season's over," and I'm like, "Yo, we're still 500. Like we still got plenty of season. We have more games left to go than we've played so far. So I think it'll be okay. And quite frankly, with the Browns, like I do think there's a possibility that like if I'm wrong, beat the Dolphins. If I'm wrong, well, I don't know if I believe that one, but if I'm wrong about Deshaun Watson, he doesn't take time to adjust, which I'm pretty sure I'm right about that. But if I'm wrong, the Browns could, surprise and make the playoffs too. It wouldn't be out of the realm of possibility if Deshaun comes back and Deshaun is ready to go right away. So we'll see. We'll see.
If the Browns beat the Dolphins and the Buccaneers, and they get Deshaun Watson back against the Texans, which they're going to beat the Texans with Deshaun Watson.
Okay. If they beat the Dolphins and Buccaneers, then there's a lot. I'm still just not convinced they're going to beat the Dolphins.
Maybe 6-6.
Maybe the Buccaneers, but even then,
they'll be 6-6. Just saying, man, don't sleep on it.
I'm just saying, don't sleep on the fact that Deshaun Watson's going to need some adjustment time. But
I never said that he wouldn't need adjustment time. I just said that actually I didn't say he wouldn't. No, I did actually. I said that I think he's gonna come off slow. I did say that. I just don't think that he's gonna be terrible. Well, I think he's gonna come out slow, but I don't think it's gonna take him long. I'll give him like 2 weeks.
All right, fair enough. But like I said, y'all, that's pretty much all we got. So I'll leave y'all as always with a hooday.
Go Browns!
Even though we lost. Yeah, I don't like hearing that one.